Okay, so several things. Number one, I said I said I was going to replace the jerseys. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. So, story time. I'm watching the game, and I'm actually home for this one, right? The game started at like 8, right? I got off of work at 7 today, right? So I'm watching the fucking game. I'm getting my shit off. I'm all excited about it. And it didn't really hit me until I'd say maybe halftime when I started to really realize, like, oh shit, this game's like really fucking starting at 8. So the motherfucker's not going to be done until like 10:30. After a full day of working, I was like, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I was like, a nigga's feeling a little drowsy, I ain't gonna lie to you. But I was just kind of ignoring it. You know, I was gonna beat the sleepy allegations. And I'm watching the game and I'm pushing through. And I'd say around the fourth quarter, I'm like fighting off sleep. I mean, like I'm swinging at the motherfucker. Like I am not going to fall asleep. Fuck what you heard. Like it's not going to happen. And I got a dream jersey. It's just not in this room. So right now we'll have to settle for Hawks jerseys, but that's not here or there. But so I'm fighting off the sleepy allegations, right? And around the third quarter, it started getting really fucking heavy. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this shit. I'd say around the time that Ryan Howard checks back in towards the end of the fourth quarter, that's when the sleep was a little too much. Mr. Sandman kicked down my door, punched me in the jaw, and said, fuck you. I closed my eyes for 2 seconds. I mean, like 2 seconds. Someone called a timeout or some shit like that. I closed my eyes for 2 seconds. Then I opened the motherfucker and I was watching golf. So I don't know what the fuck happened to end the game. I just know we won. Again, I don't know how the game ended. I just know we somehow won. When I fell asleep, we were down about 3 points. I woke up and golf was on television. Twitter tells me that we won the game. I don't know how the fuck it happened. But I can give you details for everything up until the point where we actually win the motherfucker. We were getting slapped around in the first quarter. We were down damn near 30. Wasn't looking too good. Wasn't looking too good at all. But fucking Haley Jones comes in, starts running the team at the point guard position, and all of a sudden it was sunny skies. Now, I think we've seen enough to where you should probably start her over Aari, but that'll never happen for reasons unknown. Again, I'm not quite sure why, but for reasons unknown. Aari offensively did not have the most incredible game. Again, what she was able to pull off in the last 3 minutes of the game, I couldn't tell you because I fell asleep. But up until the last 3 minutes of the game, I believe the motherfucker only hit one shot, and that was a layup off of the fast break, which is cool, and everybody was praising her. But the motherfucker at that point was 1 for 4 and had 3 goddamn assists. So if that is supposed to be an impressive performance for her, then I guess I will give her a golf clap. Congratulations for going 1 of 4, I guess, but that's not here there. I thought that Miss Gray played pretty well. Again, not the most efficient of nights, but she played well. She held it down offensively. I don't have the box score in front of me, but just from doing the eye test before I fell asleep, she was one of the main individuals holding it down offensively and collecting points. Now, we're going to get to the breakdown of everything in a second. I'm just going over just a general guys. Towards the beginning of the game, we saw that there was a little bit of a carry job from Cheyenne Parker. She was scoring a good bit of her points by her goddamn self. I think we had a point where like all 6 of our points were coming from Cheyenne Parker. Ryan Howard, again, unless she fucking snapped in the last 3 minutes of the game and I was just asleep for it, she didn't really have the best game. But again, we will get to that in a second, just doing the general highlights before we do the deep dive. Zillman played all right. I thought Aid Eater played great. I thought they played pretty fucking well, which, you know, they tend to always do. I don't know why they get so much flack for their performance. I think they always play great. Personally, that's just me. The motherfucker had a couple steals too. I thought they played fine. So that's the highlights, right? That's sprinkling on the highlights and letting you know how individuals did, who showed up, who didn't. Let me explain to you what was really going on. Now, there was allegedly a Twitter space after our first game where Ryan Howard jumped on and she confessed. Again, this is all alleged. She allegedly got on there and said, in less words than more, I guess, she said that Coach Wright does not run plays. They simply seek options and go off of what the defense is giving them. Now, I feel like, and again, this is alleged, but I feel that it's almost a running joke at this point that Sever the Bond is covering a team where the coach doesn't draw plays. I feel like I'm like this bad luck magnet where every time I cover, with the exception of Quinn Snyder, I feel like every time I cover a goddamn team, the motherfucking coach doesn't draw plays. And that type of a confession from the star player is very damning, I must say. But what we saw tonight was something very interesting that I figure would only happen at the halfway mark of the season. Aari seemed to recognize in the very beginning of the game, there's no one down low who can really stop Cheyenne Parker. So she starts giving her little entry passes. And Cheyenne's eating that shit up. And it's like, oh. And all of a sudden, we play a little defense, get a couple fast breaks. And you got Alicia Gray running into the paint. Cutting, getting to her spot. And Aari's setting the motherfucker up. Now, she's not being credited for every one of these assists because maybe there's like some extra dribbles involved or there's some like posties or something like that. But technically, from what I was counting, I saw like damn near 7 assists from Aari over the first 3 quarters. Now, again, I don't think she was credited for all of them because, again, the technicality of what is considered an assist or not, kind of comes into play. But Aari was doing a really good job giving the lead pass down low. Monique Billings made her debut tonight. And again, she was positioning herself well down low because there was no real interior defense. Sylvia Flowers is gone. And I think I said her name right. I apologize if I didn't. But that motherfucker's gone. There's no one down there to keep us out the paint. Monique Billings was feasting. Hell, there was a time where Ryan Howard took a mid-range shot, missed the shit, ran in the paint, took the ball out the goddamn sky from 2 defenders, and was able to make a play off of that. Aari was even able to successfully conduct a couple driving kicks. Now, not to shooters, but to people coming into the lane. And I just found that so very fascinating because I believe that this naturally happened and it wasn't like a directive from coach. I think Aari literally just had a moment where it clicked oh, I remember how to play basketball again. And I gotta say, it was beautiful. It's just, it's not the full equation yet. But I can see, and this is the first time where I can see that the pieces are coming together and Aari is starting to remember how to play goddamn basketball again. And y'all, I'm fucking here for it. The other piece of that puzzle is understanding what players do what. I use an example in my Brooklyn Nets videos to where it's like, and if you don't watch anime, you're going to be a little bit confused, but it's like if you have a Gundam, right? A Gundam is a gigantic robot that is piloted by a human, right? So it's like you've got this gigantic machine that you are piloting, right? And this robot, or Gundam, if you know what I'm talking about, has a sword or a shield or a big ass gun or some shit like that. Gundams are not just big-ass robots that go around punching shit, right? That's like the Megazords from Power Rangers, right? A Gundam has got specialty weapons and shit like that. A motherfucker might have a scythe, you feel me? A motherfucker might have an axe or a battle hammer or some shit like that. Not to get too nerdy on y'all, but a Gundam has weapons. And as a point guard on a basketball team, you're like the pilot of the Gundam. You look to your left and you got someone who can slash. You look to your right, you've got a three-point specialist or something like that. Like, you've got weapons. And it's up to you as a point guard to use the weapons on your Gundam properly. Or in the terms of basketball, use the weapons at your disposal, your teammates properly. And I think today it finally clicked for fucking Aari. We've got all these goddamn post players. You feel me? Your Nas Hillman. You feel me? We got niggas for days that can get it popping in the post. We got motherfuckers that can drive to the basket and get their shit off. Like an Alicia Gray. Like a Haley Jones. Give these niggas the ball where they need it, where their sweet spot is, and let them go to work. If you got Monique Billings on these itty-bitty melanin challenge niggas, give her the ball down low, get the fuck out the way, let her post. Cheyenne Parker's battling for position every goddamn play. Give her the fucking ball down low and get the fuck out the way. Instead of these complicated ass passes where the spacing is atrocious, look at what's in front of you, read the play, make the right decision. Knowing your personnel. But that goes for your other players as well. If we know AD is a goddamn spot-up shooter specialist that can create off the dribble a little bit, but like really shines in a catch-and-shoot sense, especially off a goddamn hip surgery. Maybe hitting them up on the backdoor cut for a possible reverse layup ain't their shit, right? Maybe just look for them to get open, swing the ball around, get your driving kick shit off, something like that. But find a way to get them the ball where they can cook. But it's not the same thing as someone who's going to post up. With Ryan Howard, there's just no fucking way Ryan can't get an open three. There's just no fucking way we can't let her ISO on the wing and get the fuck out the way and let her create. We can't feed the post every goddamn time with every player. Everyone has different places they like the ball because they're different types of players. And I think once that part clicks, and I'm not saying she's fucking stupid and she doesn't know that. I'm saying once that clicks, as far as on the court production, because again, you can know all you want, but if you're not going to fucking do it, it doesn't mean anything. Classic example, my jump shot is terrible because I don't fucking jump. I just don't. But if I were to actually elevate off the goddamn ground, the ball would probably go in the hoop instead of hitting the front of the thing and then maybe it rolls in, right? Like, you can know all you want. I know you tuck the elbow in, but my shit be over here, so you feel me? Like, you can know all you want, but are you going to apply it? I'm sure Aari knows the sweet spots of these motherfuckers. But it's like a thing you have to implement. And that's a growing thing. That's a maturing thing. Maybe in college, you could run down the goddamn court past everyone and get your Westbrook shit off and lay the ball up and maybe in Arizona and in college you cannot put any arc on your goddamn shot and it just goes in and it's fucking great because you're not being contested because your step back is just skill levels above everyone else in the tournament, but not in the WNBA. But what was encouraging is the fact that at least half of the equation. And I know basketball is significantly more complicated than like shooters and drivers, but at least for the personnel that we have on the team, I'd say 50% of the motherfuckers that actually get to play, Aari seems to have an understanding of where to get them the ball to make an offensive impact. And I think that's really, really fucking important. Now, obviously, numbers-wise, we're going to look at Gray and say, God damn, she's carrying. We're gonna look at Cheyenne Parker and say her fucking impact is incredible. All the Monique Billings stands are gonna say, look, she plays, we win, right? Like, I totally get that. But I want to take a moment to keep the energy all the way consistent. When that motherfucker does something right, I will sit here and applaud it. Shout out to Aari. I thought you played great today. Maybe offensively you don't have a goddamn pulse, but in terms of running the team, I thought you did a good-ass job tonight. And I think these are the baby steps that we need to getting her to where she needs to be. Because goddamn it, if they're going to force her down our throats, at least she's improving. And I think she took a big-ass step. Because in terms of what the team has on paper and how they're capable of playing style-wise, I think this is the first piece. I think running niggas out the gym, I think attacking the paint, especially when there's no real rim protection, when we can be the bullies, when we can initiate the contact, when we can be the physical ones out the box. I think that's great. Now, again, it would have been nice to see how they ended up closing the shit, but I saw them getting the game close to taking it over. How they won, I don't know. I was watching the back of my eyelids at that point. But up until the end of the fourth quarter, that is basically the main thing that I saw. And especially since I dedicated an entire video ripping the motherfucker to shreds, I think it is only fair that I keep the same energy and say positive things about her as well. Now, there are a million things we could dissect from this particular game, but this is like a 40 to 50 game long season, depending on how far it is that we go into the playoffs and if we're involved in the Commissioner's Cup, however the fuck that works. So I'm not going to be on here for an hour and a half every goddamn game because there's too many things to speak on and we have too many opportunities to do so. But tonight, I just wanted to keep the energy consistent and say that I am proud of Aari and think she did a wonderful job tonight. Let me know your thoughts on the game. What are your main takeaways? What are the hills you're dying on? What are your storylines you're going with? Let me know down below, and I'll see you motherfuckers next game. Yeah.